Hi everyone, it's Lauren and welcome back to my channel. So as I'm sure you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be doing a little recap of my first year living in New York City and basically answering a bunch of your questions on what you had, anything New York City related. I put up an Instagram story asking for you guys to ask me questions, so if you guys are not following me on Instagram, make sure you follow me at LaurenNelly09. I post all the time on there, and if I ever do another questions video, that's where I'll be posting about that. So March 29th, 2019, I moved to New York City. So March 29th, 2020 marks my 1-year anniversary of living in the city. It was kind of weird because I wasn't actually in New York City to celebrate my 1 year because of everything that's happening right now. I'm actually back in my hometown. Just a little background before I start with the questions. I graduated from college in December of 2018 and then moved to New York City March of 2019. I was 21 years old when I moved, and now I am 22, turning 23 in a month, which is so weird. I work in social media, and on the side I do TikTok and YouTube. So let's just get into the questions and talk about the city and how great it really is. So the first question is, how is it different from your hometown, pros and cons? So I actually grew up in a super small town, and I actually went to a college in a small town as well. So it was definitely a big adjustment and a big change for me. But luckily I had done internships in the past in the city, so I had lived there before for 2 summers. I love New York City. So the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Pros being there's so much to do, so many food places, so many cool people. The social life opportunities are endless, and I love how busy it is. Cons, there's honestly not a lot. One being that I'm not near my family. And then I would just say another con would be that it's expensive to live in New York City. But as long as you're budgeting and being good with your money, the expensive part really is not an issue. So 2 people kind of asked my favorite restaurants, and then someone else has favorite thrift stores and bars. So I'm just gonna go through all of that for you. By far, my favorite restaurant is Kings County Imperial. It is the best dumpling place in the Lower East Side. I 100% recommend. My friend Abby and I go there all the time, and I am looking forward to going there after quarantine is over. They have the best soup dumplings, and the whole entire menu is amazing, and the drinks are great as well. If you guys want me to do a whole video on different food places in the city, I would definitely do that, so let me know in the comments. Favorite thrift stores, definitely L Train Vintage in the East Village, and then Flamingos. There's actually a few locations of Flamingos, but the ones I go to are Lower East Side and East Village because they're the closest to me. Flamingos is so cool because you pay by the pound. As for bars, again, if you would like me to do a whole video on like bars and restaurants, I can totally do that, but just a few to mention. When I go out on the weekends with my friends, we love Flower Shop, and Kind Regards is a lot of fun as well. But if you're just looking to get a drink and not like have like a nightlife scene, Dante in Greenwich Village is so cute, and Selrose on the Lower East Side is so cute, and the drinks are great as well. I had a few people ask my favorite weekend activities or what I like to do on the weekends, and kind of all the things I just said before. I love to go thrifting, I love going to new restaurants, hanging out with my friends, and then usually once a weekend we'll go out at night, which is super fun. And honestly, just walking around the city, walking through parks. I love Washington Square Park, and I live pretty close to it. Sitting in the park during the summer, oh, I cannot wait for that. Next question is it true that New York City pizza is that good? And yes, 1000%. I have one place right around the corner from my house that I love, which is probably not that great because I get it a lot. New York City pizza, it's just something different about it. It's so good. And honestly, dollar pizza, I love dollar pizza. Someone said, do you regret moving to New York City? And no, not at all. I love New York so much. I've wanted to live in New York City since I was a little girl, and now actually being able to live there is such a dream come true, and it's definitely where I want to be spending my 20s. Someone said, how is it now and are you being safe? I'm actually not in the city right now. Thank goodness I was able to get out of the city a few weeks ago. I can't imagine being there right now. When I was there for those few weeks in quarantine, it was really scary because living in such a densely populated area, I was scared to even go outside for walks. So I'm happy to be in my town now and just praying that this will all be over soon. I like this next question. I'm not sure how good I am gonna be at answering it, but someone said 3 things every newbie New Yorker should do in their first year. I was able to live in New York City for 2 summers before actually permanently moving there, so I definitely did some exploring then, but just walking the streets, visiting all of the parks, seeing everything around you. New York City is such a beautiful and cool place. I would just say explore every neighborhood and walk around, see what your favorite places are. Next, try as many restaurants as possible. New York City's food is absolutely amazing, so I would definitely take advantage of all of the awesome restaurants around. And lastly, meet new people. New York City is filled with people, obviously, and there's a lot of cool people out there, so putting yourself out there, going out at night, talking to people in parks, whatever it is, just put yourself out there because you'll definitely meet some really cool people. Someone said, being a young woman, do you have any safety tips? So I always carry pepper spray on my keys. It's just always on me, and I have that if I need it. Luckily, I do live in a really nice neighborhood, and even at nighttime, there's always people out because it's a pretty popular place. But if you're out at night, I definitely would suggest being with a friend, and if you and your friends don't live together and you need to part ways, take an Uber, don't walk on the streets, don't take the subway, it's not safe, and just try and be smart about your actions. Next question is it expensive to live there? And yes, it is. It's one of the most expensive cities to live in, but it's totally worth it. As far as apartments go, you're not just paying for the apartment, you're paying for the location and the experience and everything around you. I decided that I wanted to pay a little bit more to be right in Manhattan in a cool neighborhood rather than paying less and being outside of the city, because it was really important to me to be right in the cool area, because that's why I moved to New York City. I wanted to be in the heart of it. So yes, it is expensive, but I would 100% say it's worth it. And yeah. This next question is funny. My dad asked it. How many steps have you climbed this year? So he actually asked this because I live on the 6th floor of my apartment and we don't have an elevator, so I do a lot of stairs every day. So I don't know how to exactly calculate it because I don't want to go through my app and add up every day, but it does give me a daily average for the year. So my daily average was 11 floors. So if I calculate 11 times 365, I get 4,015 flights. So I guess I climbed roughly 4,000 flights this past year, which is definitely good for the legs, good for the butt. It was my kind of only workout. So this next question is a great one. How much would you recommend saving before moving to New York City? So this is a tough question that I'm not really sure if I'm gonna be great at answering it, but you definitely have to save up quite a bit because the initial move to New York City is expensive. Typically when you're moving into your apartment, you have to put down first and last month and a security deposit, which is typically a month's rent. So say your rent is $1,500 a month, you would have to put down $4,500 before you even move in. So it's definitely not cheap and you have to save up quite a bit. So you have that cost, and then you also have to worry about furnishing your apartment and having money to live before getting your job. So I don't know an exact number, but I would definitely say think about your finances before moving and make sure you are 100% financially stable and can actually do this move. Next question is best neighborhoods to live in and best places to find an apartment. So I would say Greenwich Village, West Village, East Village, and Williamsburg are my 4 top places I think that I would want to live. They're very young, great food places. Williamsburg is in Brooklyn, but it's right on the edge, so it's super close. It's only 1 stop into Manhattan. As far as finding an apartment, I just went online and used all of those websites online. Easy Street, apartments.com, all of those, and just reached out to different people and listings. And actually, when I was moving to New York, my roommate was living in New York and I wasn't, so I would go on, look for apartments, and then she would go and view them in person and go to the open houses and then kind of FaceTime me, show me videos. And I didn't even go to my apartment in person until I had it and was moving in. Favorite spot to chill and think? The city can be busy, so it's good to get some time to just relax and chill. And I love Washington Square Park. Like I said, I'm close to it, so it's a great place to just go, sit by the fountain, sit by the skateboarders and watch them skateboard. This past summer, I think I went to Washington Square Park at least once a week to watch the skateboarders skate. But yeah, probably Washington Square Park or a coffee shop. I love Irving Farm coffee, so yeah, probably those 2. So that's it for the questions. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any other questions, feel free to comment them down below and I'll be answering them. And if you're looking to move to New York City and have any actual questions for me, feel free to DM me. I'm always on Instagram, so I'd be happy to help. I cannot believe I've been living in New York for a whole year. It's actually crazy to think this year really flew by, but I'm looking forward to another great year in New York after all of this passes, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.